Hello and good evening. So I'm here today on the property in the Boonies, hanging out in my shed, feeling really nice and toasty tonight. I've been talking on my YouTube channel a little bit about a container home. I've decided that this is what I'm gonna actually build, and there's some great advantages of having a container home. However, most importantly, they are not cheap. They're certainly not cheaper than a prefab home or even sometimes a built home. So a custom built home, I mean. So be very careful if you see a lot of these things on Facebook and they look so cool. They can cost. Now, if you're a builder yourself, that makes it great if you can do a lot of this. But if you have to reach out to a builder, the cost adds up. One of the great things of being in Arizona is that you do not require a permit for a container home. And I wanted something to move really very quickly and not have to wait for that. But I implore you, if you are going to do a container home, get builders who know the codes of the state or your state so that you get exactly what you are looking for. And we don't want any shabby work, and we certainly don't want to burn down in our container home. Get your electricians, your plumbers, all of these people who are bonded and so forth. Now, what are some of the things I like about having a container home? Of course, it's going to outlive me, most likely. It's built with steel, so the walls are going to be extremely strong. And once treated well, or you purchase one that's new, it shouldn't be rusting. Some people purchase moderately or slightly used, and others very used containers. But they can range anywhere from about $3,000 all the way up to $6,000, $7,000, depending on your purchase. So that's one thing, and depending on how many containers you want, that adds up. Now, if you're just doing one of those one container builds and you can do your own construction on the inside for your tiny home, beautiful, it works well. If you're like me and you're looking for a little bit more space so that you don't feel claustrophobic, and I do have a little bit of claustrophobia, so I wouldn't lie about that, I need a little bit more elbow room. So I opted to have 4 containers put together that gives me just enough space. If I need to invite someone over, I can have an extra bedroom. And then if I wanted to then figure out I'm going to have more, I will have another person in my shed later on. That being said, the other bits about it is that vermin like termites and so forth just doesn't get to it. It can withstand, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, probably even earthquakes. I mean, unless, it shifts off a foundation or something like that. So it's really very strong, and that's the reason I chose to go this way. And I just like the look of it. It's different from regular homes, and once insulated really well, it can be really cool during the summer and warm during the winter time. One of the things I also decided I wasn't going to do, and I thought about it, was to stack a container on the top. Now remember that these containers are only 8 feet wide. So if you have something that's really, furniture that's really large, it really cannot fit well into an 8-foot space. Unless, of course, you're going to double stack it on the top. So be very careful when you see some of these stacks on top. How are you going to utilize that space before you decide that's what you want to do? Furthermore, hot air rises, and in the summertime, it got really hot here last summer, and I found it very difficult to think about being upstairs when you have just a mini split, and that having to cool a lot in order to keep that temperature down. As a result, I opted for a 1-level floor plan, open concept, with stairs going up to the top and a platform for veranda that's covered on top of the container. In that way, it's open to the environment. Air can go through, but I can still protect myself from the heat. So there you have it. A little bit about container homes and my experience so far. In further videos, I'll be showing you some of the things that we did during building, and how we got to the point of getting that container to those pillars that you saw on previous videos. Thanks for watching.